What if not knowing how to achieve your goal is exactly where you're supposed to be? Hey everyone, it's Acacia Thornton, the CEO Legal Coach. Today I'm going to show you how to manifest your dreams and make them your reality, even if you have no idea where to start or how to do it. This is the Aligned Business Series where we go live 3 times a week and we answer your questions, right? So make sure you find your chat button. I see some of you coming in there. Hey, and we're going to talk about this today. So if you have any questions regarding this, pop them in there. I'm going to answer them. And what's going on here when we don't know what we want? I'm sorry, we know what we want. We don't know how to get there, right? You know what you want. You don't know how to get there. Why is this actually good for manifesting? So I like to kind of teach some of my clients through what I call the 3 journey types. Journey number 1 is something that you know where you are, right? You know exactly where you're at right now. But what you want to do is get to your goal. So if it's something you've done before, like let's say your goal is to get some ingredients and make a meal tonight. Well, step 1 is go to the grocery store. And you've probably gone to a grocery store before. You've probably gone to the grocery store you're going to go to. And you maybe even know exactly which ingredients you're going to get. You know exactly what aisle they're at. You have a process, right? You know the whole thing. Maybe even have a parking spot. So when you're in this feels comfortable, right? This is great. I know what to do. I know how to do it. I've even done it before. I've done most of it before. This is going to be just fine. Well, this type of a goal is great when it feels good, right? But it also leaves us open to not really leaving space for creative value. It leaves us not open to allowing other types of things. Maybe there's different ingredients, a better place we could go, different routes we could take to see different things. We're not open to changing or shifting that. We become rigid. And also, if anything changes in it, right, you have expectations now. You maybe even created a habit. So if somebody takes your parking spot or is, oh my gosh, this person is so slow at the checkout counter, we get irritated when something's slightly different, right? So that's where we think we want to be. But the truth is, we can sometimes be blind to living in the moment. We can be blind to new creative ways to do it. And we're easily thrown off track in our moods and our emotions if things don't go as planned. Now, that is a complete opposition to you not knowing where the hell to start, right? You're like, wait, Acacia, that sounds nice. That's where I want to be. I would rather be cranky and all these things. How do I get there? So on the complete other end of the spectrum is you know what you want. You know where you want to go. You know what you want, but no idea where to start. What do you do in that scenario? What do you do? So let's first off and look at what it is you've desired, what you feel like, this is what I want. I want you to know that the fact that you even thought of it, the thought that it's even crossed your mind that you can't have it, that you want it, guess what? It means you can. It means it's already energetically here on the plane. It just needs to be brought to you, right? Well, this is beautiful because unlike the grocery store where you know exactly where it is on the map and how to get there, this can come from anywhere. This can come from anywhere. That's really a beautiful thing because when it can come from anywhere, the universe can bring it at any point in time from anywhere. We're not stuck expecting it a certain way. We're not stuck doing the same routine or pattern or routes and actions. We're wide open. That's actually a beautiful spot to be because what you can do is then ask the universe, ask God, energy, whatever it is that you tap into. And you may have already had an urge, a sense of what to do. Maybe it's write that email. Maybe it's reach out to that client. Maybe it's go for a walk. I've had that be one of mine once. Just, I want clients, go for a walk. Okay. And what we do is if we can allow ourselves to stop overthinking, I need a plan. Because what is a plan? A plan is trying to, 1, predict, 2, control, and 3, it limits the possibilities. Like we just said, when you don't know where it's coming from or how it's going to happen, it can happen anywhere, anytime, anyway. Anytime, anywhere, anyway. Which means it can happen to you faster. You don't have to know the how, the universe does. But if you're called to take an action, we want to take that action now, immediately, because what the universe is saying, the energy you've asked me to call in is right here, right now, and I want you to take this action to step into it. Step into it. And so just like my, little story there about I was once manifesting $5,000 in new clients. And my inspired action that the universe gave me was to go for a walk. I was like, okay. Turns out my neighbors were downstairs having a conversation that I was very well suited for. I sat down and started talking with them and walked away with a client. Whoa, that's crazy. But if I had been in the grocery store mode, where I was like, okay, well, to get new clients, I need to write an email like this to my existing ones. And then if I want to get new ones, this is my process, right? Do you see how different those two worlds are? The idea of just because you know how to do it doesn't actually mean it's better. It doesn't mean it's faster. It usually means it's boring. So opening ourselves up to allowing the universe to give us our hints and our clues and use our intuition. And then we're not blocking anything. We're not blocking anything. In my manifesting guide, which I realize is not even on the screen right now. Let me put that up for you all. I have the manifesting guide. I have an exercise in there. I call this the 20 ways exercise. Okay. And what the 20 ways exercise is whenever you want something, you're calling it in, your brain will inevitably try to plan it. It will try to predict it. It does that because your brain is trying to keep you safe. Your brain is trying to keep you in a certain space. And it wants to know what's coming so it can keep you safe, right? Because if it feels like it doesn't know what's coming, you're going to die. Not really true. I've had lots of surprise birthday parties and I didn't die. I had a great time. So the idea of that, right? So what this exercise is you sit there and you write 20 different ways. 20 ways. Your brain is going to stop around 3 to 5. 20 different ways the universe can bring what you want to you right here, right now. And it takes a moment. It takes a moment because like I said, you're going to want to stop somewhere around 4 or 5. How do you get the other 15? You have to calm yourself, connect with energy, and realize the creativity that is actually around you. Creativity is actually around you. I had that once. I was going to bed and I was like, I really am trying to call in this lump sum. I want to see it like this in my inbox, but there's just no way it's going to happen right now. Like the funnels aren't set up. There's not enough out there to do this. And I go, no. No doubting, no controlling, no being in the grocery store journey. We want to be wide open. So I did the 20 exercise and I go, oh my gosh. Not only are there more than 20 ways, there's 20 ways actually already set up in my business only. Never mind all the other ways the universe could do anything for me. 20 ways in my business that in that exact moment, I could have got what I wanted. And so I stopped stressing. I opened myself up to the universe. And so this is the power of not knowing how. Is I want you to know it's actually a mental block to try and control it. It's a mental block to overplan it. Even in the science of science of getting rich, which by the way, I'm rewriting right now. I'm co-authoring with Waddles, but Waddles says in his original text that you don't want to overplan. You don't want to prepare and predict bad things because then that's what you're calling in. You're limiting yourself. You're saying, universe, no. We're gonna do it my way and my way only, no matter how long that takes. No matter how rough it hurts. So many times we're sitting there being like, I don't want to work, but I want to take action. Right? You don't want to sit in bed all day. You want to get up and take an action, but you want to take action at something that's inspiring to you, right? Not something you have to do, not something you're supposed to do. Not something like, well, this brings me a paycheck. That sucks to feel like that. We want to wake up inspired, taking action, and be like, yes, this is how we do it. And that's the difference here. When you're planning, you're forcing yourself into that plan. And you're saying that plan is the only way to do it. And if I need an extra 500 cold calls, well, then we're going to triple the amount of cold calls and make it happen. That does not sound fun for anybody. Even the most experienced salesperson would be like, no. Where if you stop and go into that other journey, right? And go, hey, I'm looking to bring in this much more in money. I'm looking to bring in this type of furniture into my home. I'm looking to bring in this type of romantic partner into my life. What are all the ways this can happen? What are all the different ways it can happen? And what do I feel inspired to do? And not think, does that lead to my goal? Does that do this? Does that do that? Just take the inspired action and let it unfold. Because the universe knows everything that's going on. Stuff you have no idea about. Like one of the biggest revenue changes for me one day, back when I started manifesting, was that somebody quit at work. Somebody quit. Somebody we did not see quitting, but that person quit. And oh my gosh, I was next in line. That's amazing. But I never would have predicted that person quitting. I definitely wouldn't have hoped that person quit. I loved working with them. But that's the way the universe had things going on already. In order for the person to have quit, they would have already had to have the job offer and already have had the interviews, which meant they were applying a while ago, which means they had made the decision a while ago. The universe knew all of that was going on. I had no idea. So this is how you manifest a goal when you don't know. You want to sit yourself into feeling what it is to have that, to receive it, to get that, to see those, money in your account, to see the notes and letters in your inbox, whatever it is, to be out on that perfect, amazing date. And you ask yourself, what am I inspired to do? What action am I inspired to take? Don't think of a plan. Don't plan a plan. Take the inspired action. Take that inspired action. You might be surprised at what ends up unfolding, because a series of those things ends up creating a momentum in the direction of the frequency you're trying to attract. That's what's important. When you're making a plan, you are making the plan from right here, right now. You are not in the frequency of bringing what you want. When you feel into calling in and receiving what you want, now you're in that frequency. And that's the space you want to take action from and make decisions from. So we want to make sure that we're even in the right frequency of what we're trying to call in, because if you're not, it's not going to work out well, or it's going to take forever. Sure, you could set that plan. And yeah, you can go about that plan. And yes, that plan might actually bring you what you want, right? You can build a successful business. You can, really get into the job market and force. And it happens. But my God, you're going to feel beat up at the end of it. You ever felt like that? That's how I got myself through college and into law schools. I forced it. And by the time it came time to create a new goal and to step up in my life, I was exhausted. I had to sit there and undo all of the harm I had done mentally and physically to myself by wearing myself down and out. Where now I just take inspired action. And like I said, sometimes like that, things just like, oh, there it is. There it is. I don't have to have the answer. You don't have to have the answer. Trust that the universe, when you're on the frequency, you will be magnetized to take an action that is on that frequency. And I'll be honest, sometimes one action is enough. Other times it's a series of actions. You keep acting in the same faith and belief on the journey headed towards your goal, no matter what, because you do not know what the universe has and doesn't have going on for you. And the universe wants you to have what you want to have, because the universe is the one that gave you that thought. Why is it that that's the amount of money you're going after instead of $10 more or $100 less? That's the number you're after. Why is that the experience you want in your life? Why is that where you want to go to on vacation? Like, I love going to vacation in places that are uncommon. I like going off the beaten path entirely. Stick me in the middle of the wilderness next to some goats and some sheep, but I'm looking at glaciers and icebergs, those tall mountains that are fuming fire, and I'm unhappy. I'm completely happy. Happy. Where somebody else, that would be their version of an unhappy vacation. They'd rather be at an all-inclusive in the Caribbean, right? And they're both great. They're both great because they're yours. Whatever you're called to do, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to bring in. So it's very important that you be on that frequency. Take action from that frequency. Let go of the how. It is the universe's job to do the how. It's including the universe's job to show you how, what step, one at a time. Not your job, universe's job. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let me get this off the screen. I want to look at all of your questions right now. There it is. Okay. All right. Because I see some coming in. Hey, Restream. Hey, Applause. What's up, Funks? Emmy, good to see you. Okay. What do we got here, guys? Okay. What if my vision feels too unrealistic or out of my league to manifest it? What if your vision feels too unrealistic or out of your league? I love this because we just had mentioned, where is the idea before it was in your head? Where did it exist? Before it came into your head, that idea existed in the form of energy. Something in the energetic space, and something about that energetic frequency and your little antennae inside of you, your antenna got that message. I didn't get that message. You got that message. So even the possibility that you've had the idea means there's something about you already on the frequency. There's something about you already on that frequency. You're capable of that frequency, which means you're capable of bringing that in. So the first thing is to know that. Know that with your whole heart, full faith, belief, know it. Because you're doubting it, which means you're doubting the universe. You're doubting your purpose. You're doubting your callings. If it inspires you, why would you doubt what inspires you? Why would you doubt what lights you up and makes you feel loved and fulfilled? Why would you ever doubt that for something that makes you feel drained and exhausted and boring? So know that there is no such thing as unrealistic. 50 years ago, just 50 years ago, internet, ridiculous. The cloud, never. Cell phones, laptops, AI. 50 years ago, these couldn't even be thought up, but here they are. If you look at how technology works and the next step of opportunity, you don't know what's coming and you don't know your place in that until you decide it. So don't worry if it feels unrealistic or out of your league, because that's not possible. You got that message, my friend? That means you're meant to go after it if you feel called and connected to. How do I stay motivated when I don't see progress in manifesting my goal? This is a great one. How do I stay motivated when I can't see progress yet? So the motivation is in the goal itself. You want to be going after something that lights you up. Something that lights you up. And I'm going to tell you a story right now. I put this, I think we're writing this into The Science of Getting Rich. But it's the idea of when I went to Antarctica. Okay. Antarctica had been my bucket list trip for quite some time. And I had an account on the side that would occasionally have some money go into it. And the total trip costs for Antarctica at the time would have been around 25% of my take-home income. 25%. That's massive. Okay. That's a lot of money. And that assumes that as I'm saving up here, that the price never changes, which of course, and I had guesstimated it was going to take me somewhere. I could get really, 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 really aggressive and nothing happened in my life. I could maybe get to this goal in about 4 to 5 years, but reality was it's probably going to take me about 7. But like the price isn't going to change in 7 years, right? So these little piddly coins are going into my account every month and stuff. And I'm doing that. But then my mom comes along and she's like, okay, Acacia, time to book your trip to Antarctica. And I was like, I don't have the money yet. But I didn't want to tell my mother that. And she was like, no, we're going. And I was like, but Mom, that's a dream. You leave the dream on the shelf. You keep it somewhere in the distance. And I couldn't say that to my mom. The truth was, I couldn't believe I was saying it to myself. So I had to make a decision. I told Mom the price. She didn't flinch. Why? Because she had decided. I told Mom the timeline and the activities, and she didn't flinch. Why? Because she had decided. I was flinching because I had decided I wasn't ready. I had decided it wasn't time yet. I had decided I had to wait for the money. I didn't see the progress in my account. But Mom put me into a situation where I had to choose. Are you going to Antarctica or not? And I was like, no, we're going. So we had the calls with the travel agent later that week. And a few days later, we were putting down our deposit. Antarctica became real because we decided it was real. And I decided I was not going to have a penny of debt from it. I was going to pay that in cash. No idea how. No idea how. I had just come off the unemployment market. I'd been unemployed for 9 months thanks to COVID. So how to make this happen? No idea. Oh, I went. We had a balcony room and I did the kayaking and I had all the gear that I needed. I had an amazing time. I won the photo contest. I did all these things exactly how I would have wanted it to be. The money wasn't needed until I decided to go. I didn't need the money until I decided to go. There's no money needed to want something. So why would there be money? So back to your question about when you don't see progress. When you don't see progress, check if there's something between you and your goal. Is there something you've mentally, subconsciously, or emotionally put between you and it? Because you need to collapse that into a decision of now. Collapse it into a decision of now. Now is where you can act from. Now is where you want to be with it. I didn't want to go to Antarctica anymore. I wanted to, I'm going to Antarctica. That's the change in my voice. That was the change in my words. That was the change in my energy. I'm like, yeah, I'm hoping to go to Antarctica someday versus I'm going to Antarctica. I'm going. It's booked. I'm going. Do you see how my confidence changed? The tone in my voice changes. The way your body language is, the way you carry yourself changes when you have truly, truly decided. So you're not looking for progress anymore. You're looking for embodying it because it's here right now. Okay. So that's what I would kind of say is it's not about staying motivated when you can't see progress. You shouldn't need to be motivated to follow your heart's desires, to live a full life, to thrive, to have what you want. If it's not motivating you, then it's not a big enough goal. Your goal should kind of scare you, kind of like how Antarctica did for me. I knew I wanted it, but oh my God, I was scared. Scared for the money, scared for everything that meant in my life, but I didn't let it stop me. I let my excitement rise to equate and eventually outdo that fear. Okay, that's what we want for you. So look at what it is you're after. Is it really motivating you? If it's not, maybe it's not the right goal. That's okay. Let's pivot. Maybe I had that once too. I thought this is what I wanted. Kind of came to my life. I was like, ooh, that's not actually what I want, is it? I wanted this, but I want it more like this. So I pivoted. Right. How to stop overthinking or doubting when your path looks impossible. How to stop overthinking and doubting your manifestation when the path looks impossible. Okay, what I'm hearing right there is a whole bunch of blocks. You're overthinking. Okay, overthinking means that we're either worried about something in the past, repeating, or we're anxious about the future. We're not in the moment. We're not in the moment. And then when you're doubting, well, you're now putting emotions into that, saying, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel ready. I don't feel whatever it is. And then you're saying your path feels or looks impossible. Okay, you pick the path, which means you know it's possible. On some level, you know it is. But there's these other voices inside of you that are outdoing that one. It's outdoing it. We all have a calling. We all know how to connect to it. And we know where to start. So odds are, if you've had an idea of what you want in your life, you know at least kind of where to start, where to ask a question to, or to take some type of action. But we don't take it. We don't take it. Why? We don't take it because we're fearful or doubt, uncertain. Rather stick to what we know. And that's what holds us back. The universe has literally told you this is what you can have. Here's all you have to do to start it. And then we're like, nah, I haven't done that before. And I love this one. I love this one. Your mind doesn't want you to do something that's not done before, that doesn't know is safe. But in other words, it wants you to just repeat everything you've done in your past. You had never walked before. You had never stood before, but as a child you did it. You didn't know how to put your pants on, but you figured that out. I hope you did anyways. You didn't know how to feed yourself, and now you can do that. You didn't know how to go to school, and now you can do that. You didn't know how to read. And so there's so many things we didn't know how to do that one by one, we just figured it out. So don't let yourself overthink or doubt what your part of you has already told is yours. And it's not impossible. It's possible. You had the thought, the idea, part of you is already on that linear line. Get into that frequency more and just feel into that space. This is something so many of us don't want to do. We don't want to feel. We want to think. We want to doubt. You don't want to. Let's just say you have that big moment, like the moment of your life. Do you want to sit there and be like, I think this is good? Or do you want to feel the fuck out of that moment? You want to be filled with joy. You want to be filled with excitement. You want to be thrilled with every inch of your being. But then when we try to manifest it, we're like, I don't want to feel into it. Well, you can't get yourself to the feelings you're after if you can't feel into it. We've all been taught to use our brains, to think, to be logical, to plan, to prepare. Fuck that. Fuck it. Okay? Yeah, it's okay to plan. But like I said earlier with the grocery store trip, when you get too rigid, when you hold on to that, you're actually preventing what you want from coming to you. So let yourself feel. Feeling is the opposite of thinking. Feel into the glory, greatness. Holy fuck, yes, that moment is going to be in your life, okay? And whatever you're inspired to do, that's the action I want you to take. What if I've been holding the vision for a long time and nothing's moving? You actually don't know nothing's moving. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know what the universe has lined up for you. You don't know about the conference that's being planned or the coworker that's off interviewing for jobs that is about to leave and give you the biggest raise of your life. You don't know. So trusting, instead of going into doubt or overthinking and planning, let go and trust and feel into it. The feeling is how we connect and communicate with the universe, with universal intelligence, God, those feelings, right? We feel into it. We ask for something with our thoughts, and then we feel into them. And that feeling becomes your compass. It also becomes the universe's compass. So know that it's probably up to something. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not headed your way. All right, one more. All right, let's see. They got to scroll for this one. Okay. How do I deal with people who think my goal is unrealistic? Why does what they think matter? People thought Steve Jobs was crazy. The iPod, the iPhone, cloud. People thought he was crazy, but he didn't go be like, oh, you're right. You're right. It's crazy to you. So therefore it must be crazy in general. He said, no, I have these ideas. I feel connected to these ideas. And I want to build a team around me that is inspired to do these the same way I am. It is not about the other people. And here's the thing. You don't have to get rid of these people. Like maybe it's your family or something. But you also don't have to tell them. There's plenty of things I don't tell my parents. There's plenty of things I don't tell my best friend. There's plenty of things I don't tell people when I'm in the middle of it. I wait till I'm done and then be like, here it is. And let them marvel in the amazingness of what you're able to create and become. Who cares what their thoughts are along the way? They can't see the future the way you can. They can't think for you. They can't feel for you. They don't know if that's actually going to make you happy or not. You do. Just because somebody doesn't like carrot cake does not mean there's not somebody out there who does. Just because there's somebody out there who doesn't like cilantro doesn't mean there's not me who loves it in my guacamole. You don't have to convince anybody of anything other than you. So if they're bothering you, either ignore it or stop telling them these things. Maybe even decrease your time around them during this phase. Whatever that is, you want to align to what you're called to do and called to be. That's what's important, most important than anything. All right, I will see you on Thursday. Let me look at our topic on Thursday. And this week we, how to clear money guilt and pricing fear. We're also going to how to use your intuition to solve problems. Yes, I like that one because I call that one hindsight is 2020. It's a great tool. And don't forget to get your manifesting guide. It's completely free manifesting guide. And I will see you.